What's the deal with intermittent fasting when you are doing keto? What would be 3 reasons why you would do intermittent fasting? Hi, in case you don't know who I am and you're new to this channel, I am Slick Nick, your personal keto bro. And no, I'm not a doctor, a dietitian, a nutritionist, a trainer, just some random guy who's less than 2 months away from turning 40 and has a goal of getting down to that 17% body fat. So they go hand in hand. Keto and intermittent fasting. I'll put it this way. I've yet to talk to a person who does keto who doesn't do intermittent fasting, and I've yet to find a person who does intermittent fasting who isn't largely following keto principles. They so perfectly go together like peanut butter and jelly. But if you're on keto, you wouldn't do the jelly part. So let's get to it. What are the 3 reasons why intermittent fasting is so important if you're on keto? So number 1 is it's going to compress your calories into a certain amount a day. So for me, I actually do the 19-5 fast. So I only eat between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. I will have some MCT oil and some pure fat, like butter in my coffee. But as far as spiking my insulin, I won't do that until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I won't do it after 7. So it's only a 5-hour window where I'm putting myself in a situation where I can even spike my insulin at all by finally breaking my fast officially when I start eating protein and a few carbohydrates at the end of the day, but it's between 25 and 50 grams of carbohydrates at the end of the day. So the first way is I'm compressing those calories. I'm making it to where it's that much easier by default to have less than 2,000 calories a day. And even with the high amount of fat that I eat and the decent amount of protein, I've got a good handle on it. I'm still averaging a little under 2,000 a day to continue to burn off the fat that I'm working towards, getting down to that 17%. So first favor I'm doing myself is that I am, if you can only eat during a 5-hour window, you can imagine by default you're gonna eat less calories, right? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, and I already gave away the answer, number 2, I'm preventing my insulin from spiking. What most people don't know, I didn't know this until I became keto, is that you are storing fat the moment your insulin raises. Pure fat does not raise insulin. Protein does a decent amount, but carbohydrates do the most. So that's why I keep my carbohydrates between 25 and 50 grams a day, and I ate them the very last thing I eat is my carbs at the very last of the day during the end of that 5-hour window. So it's only a small amount of the time that my insulin will get as high as it will, but even then, it's not getting as high as it will for most people. Most people could drink a soda, they've already consumed more carbohydrates than I'm gonna have in a day, for the most part. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So I'm putting myself in a situation where I'm guarantee I'm not going to eat that many calories. Well, I'm going to keep up with it too. But then also my insulin's not going to spike, which your insulin spiking means that your body is in fat storing mode. So imagine what happens if you're not storing fat the majority of the day, and even when you do spike your insulin, it's not as high as most people. Well, you're putting yourself in a situation where most of the time you're not storing fat. You're doing the opposite. You're burning fat by default just by having not spiked your insulin. And number 3, the third benefit of intermittent fasting is the growth hormone. So for me every day, I wake up and I go to the gym first thing on an empty stomach. It's black coffee and some MCT oil, but it's not spiking my insulin, and apple cider vinegar. I go to the gym, I'm hitting it hard there. I'm either going to be doing TUT or I'm going to do HIIT. I'm either going to do slow motion, not giving my body a rest, or like today when I was doing the HIIT, where it's as much as I can do 5 reps and then doing 3 sets of that, and that's it. But I'm really manipulating the situation to where my body is going to have to create more muscle and burn more fat. But when you work out on an empty stomach, like I do, it causes your body to preserve muscle by producing that growth hormone. So it's really interesting how these 3 things work. I mean, again, I'm compressing the amount of time I can eat, so by default, it keeps me from overeating. Number 2 is I'm not really spiking my insulin to store fat, instead I'm constantly burning fat. And then number 3, I have what's called the growth hormone because I'm doing a lot of physical activity Plus, I'm also walking 2 or 3 miles after my workout. So there's a lot of benefits here. Is it working? Let's find out. Keep following my story months from now. If it's working, you'll see the difference. And if it's not working, I'll stop doing these videos because that would be pointless. I'm not going to do something that's not working. Your comments belong right here.